Alright, so what we're going to do today is solving quadratics by taking square roots. Should be fairly simple. We kind of done this before, just a little different step at the end. So for example, you're given b squared minus 8 equals 8. Okay. So it's kind of like if this square wasn't there, this is how we would solve it. Okay. So we would do plus 8 plus 8. That crosses out. B squared equals 16. Now, before, when this 2 was in front, we would divide by 2. However, since it's an exponent, we're not going to divide, we're going to use something different. We're going to use this thing, which is called the square root. And you've seen this before. We've done square roots. Okay. So now, when we take the square root of both sides, okay, well, when you have a square root and a square, they cancel out. So that leaves us with b. Now remember, the square root means what two numbers multiplied will give us 16. Okay? And the answer is, well, we have 4 times 4. Okay? And if you don't remember, we did this. We divided, and I gave you guys these numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and 13. And I had you guys divide by 2, by 2, by 2. Cross this out. We have 2, 2, 2, 2. We have our pairs. So multiply our pairs, and our pairs would be 4. Now, the algebra part of it is, well, negative 4 times negative 4 also equals 16. So then we have two answers. We have 4 and negative 4. However, most math people would write it like this: plus is positive or negative 4. Okay. So what you need to remember is every time we do the square root, every time we do this part, you're going to have two answers. One positive and one negative, and then we just write it like this together. Okay? So it's fairly simple. Okay. Now, let me give you guys 5 easy questions to work on, like this type. R squared equals 81. Okay. Since there's no plus or minus here, then we just go into that step. Square root, square root. Okay. R equals, now what's the square root of 81? Okay. You have your multiplication chart. See all these numbers right here? Those are your square roots. Okay? So for example, 81's right here, which is 9 times 9. So I know that my answer for this one will be 9. And then don't forget the positive negative. You might also get something like this. Okay, n squared equals 67. Again, since there's no plus or minus, we take the square root, take the square root. N equals, if we look over here to a multiplication table, there is no 67. It goes from 64 to 81. Since there is no 67, that means our answer is going to be a square root. Now, I would have you break this down, but I'm going to save some work and tell you that 67 can't be broken down. So since it can't be broken down, we just leave it as square root of 67. And don't forget the plus or minus. So when it's on the multiplication chart, that's how I want you guys to do it. When it's not on the multiplication chart, you got to do it like this and see if you can break it down. Okay, so here's another example. R squared plus 5 equals 45. Subtract 5, subtract 5. R squared equals 40. Okay, square root both sides. Notice 40 is not on our diagonal here, so that means I got to break it down. And again, those numbers that I gave you are right here. You might want to write them down. So divide by 2, I get 10. Sorry, divide by 2, I get 20. Divide by 2, I get 10. Divide by 2, I get 5. We have 2, 2, 2, 5. I have a pair of 2's here. Okay, so R equals, remember your pairs go outside. Your non-pairs go inside, so 2 times 5 is 10. And then just don't forget to put the plus minus in front of it. Okay? Now, this next example is about as hard as I'm going to make it today. 2n squared minus 2 equals 96. Okay? If you notice now, there's a number in front, so it's an extra step. First, we're going to do plus 2 plus 2. You get 2n squared equals 98. Now I'm going to get rid of this 2 first. So, divide by 2, divide by 2. N squared equals 49. Now I can do the square root of both sides. And if you go back to the multiplication table, 49 is on there, and it is 7. So again, I'm just going to put plus or minus 7. Alright, let's see. Eighty-one a squared plus 5 equals 69. Okay? Minus 5 minus 5. 81 a squared equals 69 minus 5. 64. Divide by 81, divide by 81. Okay, so now we have a fraction. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to look for, is there a square root of 64? And is there a square root of 81? And for you guys, I'm going to make it very simple and make sure that they're both on there. 64 is 8. 81 is 9. So it's a fraction, 8 over 9, plus or minus. Okay. Alright, last one. Let's say you're given 3x squared plus, I'll do it this way. 5 plus 3x squared equals 33. Now, This is the, now if you remember correctly, this is the 2, this is the 1, this is the 1. Okay, so a lot of students are going to make this mistake and try to do this. Okay, that's wrong because that's a 2, that's a 1. So what you're supposed to do is do this one. So minus 5 minus 5. This comes down 3x squared equals 28. Divide by 3. Now, you can't divide 28 by 3. You get a decimal. So we're going to leave it as 28 over 3. Take the square root. Okay. Is there a square root of 28? The answer is no. Is there a square root of 3? No. So let's break down 28. 2 and 14. 2 and 7. So 2, 2 and 7. That pair of 2's. So this top part becomes 2 square root of 7. The bottom will becomes square root of 3. Okay, now, just to let you guys know, I'm not going to do this to you today, but you cannot have a square root on the bottom. Okay, but none of the problems I gave you have that. I just wanted to give you an example. Okay, and don't forget the plus or minus. Alright, so here's the work for today. Sorry. Alright, here's the work for today. Okay. Again, any questions? Text me on the Remind app, whatever it is.